Good morning, students. Today we'll start redox reactions. In this chapter, what we'll do here, definition of redox reaction, then oxidation number, and like balancing of redox reaction by oxidation number method and half reaction method. So we'll first start from definition of redox reactions. So what is the redox reaction? As you can see here, reactions in which electron transfer takes place from one chemical substance to another are called redox reactions. Or in other words, you can say reactions in which oxidation and reduction takes place simultaneously are called redox reactions. So now we'll learn what is the oxidation and what is the reduction. So this is the old definition. Earlier it was taken in consideration. What is the oxidation? Like addition of oxygen or addition of non-metal, or I just say here removal of H or removal of metal. If I'll talk about the reduction, so addition of hydrogen, addition of, or I just say any metal, or removal of oxygen or removal of any non-metal. These are the earlier definition we used to take in consideration. But now in modern concepts, loss of electron is taken as oxidation and gain of electron is taken as reduction. So we learn the new concept about the oxidation and reduction. Okay, we are seeing some example over there, magnesium reacts with oxygen. It gives here magnesium oxide. So as you can see in magnesium, one oxygen atom has attached over here. So addition of O is taking place, so oxidation. And here what we can see, in oxygen magnesium is adding, so addition of metal is taking place, so that is called the reduction. So that is an example of that part. Okay, in terms of electron transfer, what is oxidation? That is, loss of electron is called oxidation and gain of electron is called reduction. So who will be oxidizing agent? So acceptor of electron is called oxidizing agent and donor of electron is called reducing agent. We'll see some examples over there. We are taking the same example. As we all know here oxidation is taking place and here reduction is taking place. But if you see here, molecule oxygen will have no charge, so it will have zero charge over there, and magnesium atom is in free state, so it will not have any charge. Magnesium individually not have any charge, it will also have the charge 0. But if you see over here, magnesium oxide, as you all have done in 10th class, atomic number of magnesium is 12, so that is around 2, 8, 2, and oxygen is 8, 2, 6. So what will happen over here? Magnesium will lose 2 electrons and oxygen will gain 2 electrons. So magnesium will acquire the charge of 2 plus and oxygen will acquire the charge of minus 2. That you all know here. So in combined state, it is an ionic compound. So it will have the charge of here, it will have charge of plus 2, it will have a charge of minus 2 in the combined state. So what you can see here, if I move from 0 to plus 2, that means magnesium has lost the electron, and if I move from 0 to minus 2, that means oxygen have gained the electron. So as the definition is clear to you, so as you can see here loss of electron taking place, so you can write here loss of electron is oxidation, and here you can say gain of electron is the reduction. Gain of electron is reduction. So according to definition, as you can see here, what I have told, acceptor of electron is called oxidizing agent and donor of electron is called reducing agent. So here who are accepting, oxygen, so oxygen is accepting the electron, so it will be oxidizing agent, and who is donating the electron, so that is Mg, so Mg will be reducing it over here. Okay, we are seeing an example over here, that is a combustion reaction of methane, that's CH4 plus 2O2, CO2 plus 2H2. As you all know here oxidation is taking place and here is reduction is taking place. But as you all can see, methane, oxygen, carbon dioxide, water is a covalent compound. So here actual electron transfer is not taking place. So how will decide which will be the oxidizing and which will be the reducing end? From our concept, that is the in terms of electron transfer. So to overcome this problem, we have a new concept that is called the oxidation number. To overcome this problem, we came to a method, that is called oxidation number. So we'll learn what is the definition of oxidation number and how we can find the oxidation number in covalent compound as well as in ionic compound, and how to balance the redox reaction in terms of oxidation number method. So what is the definition here? Like charge, it may be real or it may be imaginary, which an atom appears to have when it is combination, that is called the oxidation number or oxidation state. So we'll learn how to calculate the oxidation number in ionic as well as in covalent compounds. So in case of like ionic compounds, oxidation number of element is the same charge as of the ions present in that compound. Just like NaCl, as you all know here, Na will have plus charge, +1, and Cl will have -1 charge. So oxidation number of Na will be +1, and the oxidation number of Cl will be -1. In Al2O3, oxidation number of Al will be +3, and the oxidation number of O will be -2. In barium 2+ ion, oxidation number of Ba will be +2. So in ionic compound, that is very easy to calculate the oxidation number better. But when it comes to covalent compound, that is not very easy. So we have to derive some rules over here. With the help of that rules, we all can calculate the oxidation number in covalent compounds also. Like in covalent compounds, what we can see here, we can give the some numbers over there, like from less electronegative element to more electronegative element, or less non-metallic to more non-metallic. So as we can see here, we have one bond between them. So in hydrogen and chlorine is more electronegative. So one bond is here. So we can give -1 to this chlorine, and that is a +1. As you can all see, that will not gain the electron, that will not lose the electron, but it will be partial shifting of electron. But we are considering, for the sake of calculation, we are considering that is the actual transfer is taking place. So if I see here, in oxygen and hydrogen, hydrogen will lose the electron, oxygen will gain the electron. So it will have -1 over there. But in case of here, one bond is also taking place, so it will also lose one electron, so it will also gain. So here, what is the oxidation number of O here? Here oxidation number of O is -2, and here +1 and +1. In case of carbon dioxide, that is CO2. As you can see over here, two bonds, it is forming two bonds with one oxygen atom. So it will have -2 and it will have +2. But at the same time, this carbon atom is also forming bond with this oxygen atom. So that will also get 2 electrons, and it will also lose 2 electrons. So here, what is the oxidation number of carbon in that part? Oxidation number of carbon is +4. Actually, as you can see, that is not the actual electron transfer is taking place. That's a partial shifting of electron. But just for the sake of calculation, we are considering complete transfer of electron is taking place here. So that is only possible if you know the structure. That is only possible. This method is only possible in covalent compounds when you know the structure. But what will happen when you don't know the structure? What will happen here when you don't know the structure of S2SO4, K2Cr2O7, and many of the compounds? So then this method can't be applied over here. So we'll learn some rules ki how to calculate the oxidation number, okay, without knowing the structure. So we'll learn some rule over there. So that is our first rule, the sum of oxidation number of all elements present in the compound or ion, it will be equal to charge present on them. So that formula is kind of like sum of oxidation number is equal to charge present on compound or ion. We'll see many calculations over there, but just wait for some time. Next rule, what we are having here, oxidation number of atom present in natural or free state will be equal to 0. No matter how complicated the molecule is, like oxidation number 42, that's the natural state, H2, Cl2, P4, S8, Na, Mg, and all will be equal to 0 because they are present in natural state, so they will not combine with other molecule of any element. So that's why they will not lose or gain any electrons. So oxidation number of these will be equal to 0. That's the second rule we are having. Actually, we are seeing what is fixed. the values of oxidation number that is fixed, so we are taking them in rules over here. So oxidation number of group 1 element are lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, and like cesium over here, that will equal to +1. Second group element will have oxidation +2, and what is fixed, like oxidation of aluminum will be always equal to +3. Like next rule what we are having, oxidation number of oxygen will always have to take -2, because that will gain 2 electron. But we have some exceptions over there, like 3-4 exceptions we have here. Like in F2O, F is more electronegative than oxygen, so oxygen have to lose electron, and how many oxygen it will lose 2 electrons over there. So like F2O2, oxygen have to lose electron, so oxidation number of O will be equal to +1 for oxygen. Like in Na2O2 or S2O2, that is in case of peroxides, oxidation number of O will be -1, and in superoxide like KO2 or NaO2, oxidation number will be -1 by half. Like these are like except these 4 cases, in all cases you have to take the oxidation number of oxygen will be equal to -2, and in these 4 cases you have to just take whatever the value you can have here. Like next what we are having here, oxidation number of hydrogen you have to always take +1, but just in case of metal hydride, because like NaH, magnesium hydride, aluminum hydride, you have to take the value -1, because in case of metal hydride, metal will lose the electron, so who have to gain the electron? Hydrogen. So in that case oxidation number of hydrogen will be -1, but in all cases like you have to take +1, but in these 3-4 cases you have to take -1 over there. So our last rule is like oxidation number of fluorine will be equal to -1 always. Like oxidation number of chlorine, bromine, iodine, it will be -1, but if it will attach with oxygen and fluorine, then it might be different. So in that case you have to assume assume the value x over there, and you have to calculate. If it is not attached with like oxygen and fluorine, then you can directly take -1, but in other cases you have to just calculate with the rules. So after that part we'll see some questions over there, how we can calculate the value over there. Okay, as you can see over here, like in the rule we don't have the value of sulfur, and that was not fixed, so we have to calculate by some methods over here. Like like what is the oxidation number? It is like electron transfer, real or imaginary, per atom. It is a per atom electron transfer. It may be real or it may be imaginary. So we don't know. So what we'll have here, let oxidation number of S is equal to X. We have assumed over there, and we know the value of oxidation number of Na. Na we all know here, that is equal to +1. Oxidation number of O is equal to -2, and here we have X. So we'll apply the first formula. If you can see any charge over there, we don't have any charge, so let's say that will be equal to 0. So what is the rule here? Sum of oxidation number. Na, we have 2 Na over here, so 2 into +1 plus 2 times sulfur, 2 into X plus 3 into -2 is equal to 0. So what we'll have here, like 2x is equal to it will have +6 -2, so 2x will be equal to +4. So X will be equal to +2. So what is the oxidation number of sulfur is equal to +2 in that. Is it clear? Okay, if we have to calculate the for Cr, that's chromium. So K2Cr2 7. So we know here K will have +1 oxidation number. Cr is not fixed, that is X, and 7 into -2 is equal to 0. And if I have here 2x is equal to +14 -2, so 2x will be equal to +12, so x will be equal to +6. So oxidation number of chromium here, that is equal to +6. Suppose in glucose we have to calculate the oxidation of carbon over here, that was not in the rule actually. So let's say we have assume H will have +1, oxygen will have -2. It will be 6x plus 12 into +1 plus 6 into -2 is equal to 0. That means 6x is equal to 0, x will be equal to 0. So in glucose, carbon will be on an average carbon will be in the oxidation state equal to 0. So if we'll calculate the oxidation of Fe over here, so assume x over here, so 3x plus 4 into minus 2 is equal to 0, so x will be equal to plus 8 by 3. In C3O2 we'll have 4 by 3. So what we are seeing, that is a fractional. So how electron transfer, partial or real, can be fraction? How in fraction electron can be transferred? So what it means here, like fractional oxidation number is a particular compound means that the compound contains 2 or more than 2 atoms of elements that are not in the same oxidation state. So what is the oxidation number? So if I say it is the average electron transfer, it is the average electron transfer per atom. It may be real or imaginary. So if I'll say average, so if all will not have in the same state, so it may come in fractionals also. So that is not the case of worry, because here what is the oxidation number when we are calculating, that is a per atom or for one atom. We are calculating for one atom. So it may be in fractions also. So our next method will be balancing of redox reactions by the oxidation number method.